I was suggested that I needed to employ a more consistent regimen of writing. So I trinity with my pen and paper and started fighting, igniting firestorms of rain and napalm. The realization of my charcoal to diamond transformation makes it hard for me to stay calm. Laid on the altar, foot to faith was elementary like crayons. Nonetheless, I prayed on until I reached spiritual puberty and adolescence. But unparameter testosterone along with alienation placed me along a corner path that was way past my blessings. Buffooned into a secular mixture of lifestyle ingredients that God just wouldn't mix his best with. Consequently, I was left with the rapid movement of a dude wearing slippery shoes, standing on a declining foundational platform that oozed slick fluid. However, I could still hear the voices up above as they hysterically laughed, proudly proclaiming, just look at him, I knew it. I functioned within a larger-than-life heart, and unbeknownst to me, they bruised it. And even though callous coverings protected my fall, sinful passions and lustings infected my all. And since passive instructions directed my walk, it was in chasts and corruptions that set forth my crawl, then drastic productions from neglecting the call. Now at last I'm just stuck from rejecting my Paul. Inoperative and unable to acknowledge neither the colossalness or even the slightest inkling of positiveness of his spiritual deposits, nor the instructions he gave me through the prophets, his son and the apostles in the form of revelational knowledge. And you ain't got to go to college and exhaust yourself in scholarly topics to understand that that's why people are destroyed. Revoked your manhood and showed you you're still a boy, because you went back to that playground and re-indulged yourself in them toys. Increased aphrodisiatic nuances got you feeling more joy than ever before. Deceiving tactics Satan's employed to more than even the score. So he was floored when you ate from his Marine Corps. Now he's deployed demonic soldiers to expose you to nothing but trap doors. And they all lead to an underworld of darkness so dark that it's incapable of producing its own light. With demons assigned to work towards your demise 24/7, 365, and they still moonlight. They study until they master all the knowledge concerning the things that make you giggle and laugh. Then they PhD a thesis to dump you and won't sleep until they bring it to pass. Then the billboard your mistakes to convince everyone that shunning you has become the latest fad. But being siblings of untruth, having the father of lies, blinds them to the fact that I have the greatest dad. And it makes him mad when Satan takes his lads and tries to undermine their walks like snakes in grass. Because he pre-created a path for redeemed saints to tread on, and equipped us with weapons and armor to stomp the enemy dead gone. Nevertheless, righteousness is slept on. Rip Van Winkling us into a corner communicative community consisting of nothing but dead zones. Zombieizing the masses in a Holocaustic style using stereo speakers and headphones. Lil Wayne and a pretty girl rocking our sons and daughters into teenage drug use and promiscuity regardless of whether they live in the projects or in the best homes. And as you idly sit by calling it cute, you setting the stage for a 3 a.m. police officer knock, holding his hat to his chest telling you why your child ain't get home. This naive stupidity needs to get gone. It's time to formulate a mental picture of the status of your child's life when they get grown. If we allow the world to raise them, it's only going to provide them with a toilet bowl future, and we all know what happens when they get sit on. It is my sincere desire that you receive this revelation so you're able to do a self-determination and get a crystal clear visualization of whether or not you play a part in the participation of the degradation, defamation, and total saturation of your loved one's soul with spiritual urine and defecation. It's time we saddle up, take the horse by the reins, and study to show ourselves worthy. Instead of riding off into a carnal wilderness thinking a little sin won't hurt me, we need to understand the pitiful spiritual state we're in and get on our Kentucky Derby. This poetical gunshots being popped for y'all to break out your stalls and off your blocks, but I ain't certain you heard me. And in light of some recent occurrences, my vision has been cleared from blurriness, and now it's easy for me to see that the reason the devil can so easily receive the deed to your soul is that you have been depleted of spiritual currency. Your saintly stride was slowly stopped as a result of being so subtly steeped in sin that you couldn't distinguish the transformational stages. Spiritual dichotomy has reversed your righteous walk and reverted you to such despicable places that now you're lost and your only option of being fed is to stand in line and receive rations of reprobateness. Satan is your zookeeper in this unrestrained jungle, but you can't escape this confinement because of your inability or refusal to recognize the cages. But if you would be so kind as to turn your pages to the 12th chapter of Romans and check the statements, you'll clearly see where he commands us not to be conformed to this world and to develop the transformed mind or see the curse unfurl. It's time we expose and disempower these worldly lusts towards our baby boys and girls, and to examine who they call friends, because Jesus himself alluded to the fact that there should be no association between swine and pearls. So you can guide them to bask in the sun or hog pin them into a F5 swirl, because it is written, we're all either going to go to heaven like Enoch, Elijah, and Jesus did, or to hell, just like the world.